Greetings, it's Christine the Arctic Spider. Today I'm gonna talk about my music journey. It's a type of video that I have been wanting to do for months, since January, but never had the possibility because I never knew how to do it, but I think I have a decent format now how to do it. Um, so yeah. The thing is with me is that I have always changed music, so it's like a roller coaster ride. I'm jumping from music to music, but sometimes I actually return to the music I have liked before, so it's back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, it's really important to know that. It's 5 sections. I am only 24, but the changes are drastically. Okay, so let's begin. Early age, I will say that is between 1 and 10 years old. So I was influenced by mostly pop music and the TV and my caretaker's daughter. So I used to listen to a lot of pop music that was really common at the time, which is usually artists like Britney Spears, Spice Girls, and so on. I used to like this Norwegian band called Aqua, which was really popular too, with um, the Barbie song. I'm a I'm a Barbie girl. Yeah, kind of that song. Yes. I remember that my mother once bought me this Aqua CD. I have no idea why she did that, but I used to have this one Aqua CD on repeat all the time. So it's a really big part of my childhood music. I also used to look at MTV because at MTV there used to be the top 10 list, and every week it changed, and I used to love that. So pop music. So regarding my caretaker's daughter, she used to take MP3 files and burn them to homemade CDs, and used to give to my older sibling and me, and we used to listen to. And these homemade CDs used to usually have really obscure songs, but also some rave music, for example, techno, trance, Eurodance, and so on. Eurodance was really popular also at the early 2000s and 90s. I think there's at least maybe 6-7 years age difference between the caretaker's daughter and me, so she was mostly a teenager in the early 2000s when I was a child. So yeah, I still have one of the CDs. Again, the next step is also related to TV, because I used to watch a lot of TV because it was one of my main entertainment things. So that meant that I watched a lot of odd cartoons, and Cartoon Network used to be my favorite TV channel, and in there was a cartoon with Puffy Ami Yumi, and the cartoon is based by a real band and a Japanese band, so they had mostly rock songs in Japanese, and some of these songs were translated to English. But I used to listen to both English and the Japanese versions. So I was very early exposed to Japanese music, around 8, 9 years old. So Teenager has kind of two sections. First one is the 2008 to 2010, and then it is the second section 2011 to 2013. So let's begin with the Teenager. From 2008 to 2010, I was influenced by people that I used to chat on the internet. These people should not be named because they're not in my life anymore, and some of them were really bad people. But at the same time, I did start researching by myself, and also because my older sibling introduced me to Spotify at 2009, and I used to research bands by using it. So at around 2008, I used to listen to lots of metal, especially a band called Deathstars. And I did this because of person that I met on the internet, and this person was really into bands from Nuclear Blast record company, and this person gave me a lot of music, and I only remember Deathstars because I used to listen to them a lot. So yeah. But then a year later, somebody that I knew introduced me to emo music, for example, bands like Escape to Fate. And from there on, I researched and found bands like Bless the Fall, the Medic Droid, Jeffree Star, and Hellogoodbye, and Blackwell Brides. Yeah, I was one of the first 10,000 fan of Blackwell Brides. I used to follow Andy on MySpace and on Twitter. Yeah, I had a really, really old Twitter account, which I don't remember. And I do remember that a band member of another band, which I'm not gonna mention for privacy reasons, followed me on Twitter. But this person unfollowed me around 1 week later because I was talking too much about smoothies. So yeah, he or she, or they didn't like smoothies so much, so they unfollowed me. But anyway, not important. Also, so my older sibling introduced me to Spotify, and with Spotify I found some bands, for example the Frozen Autumn. I did this by searching cold, and I was randomly listening to songs, and suddenly I found Static Cold and I was so into it. Whoa. And then I also found a synth pop band Statemachine, and a future pop band called Pride and Fall. I had no idea that these three bands are three different genres. I thought they were all synth pop, and this will continue to haunt me for years. Okay, so we're done with that. Then we will talk about Teenager 2011 to 2013. I wise up and I don't listen to emo or scene music anymore, thank God. And now I'm not inspired by other people, I only find music by myself. So I start listening to synth pop because that's what I'm craving. So I'm listening to bands like The Actor, vision system, and elegant machinery. And I have a YouTube account at I made the YouTube account around 2008, but it has been deleted. I used to have a video with around 10,000 views. So with pride, I managed to delete that. I think the video would be really popular if I had kept it, but I don't wanna. It's a part of my life that doesn't belong to the public. But anyway. So this YouTube account I used to find the strangest bands. And I found bands like London After Midnight by chance. I don't remember what I searched, but I thought the music was synth pop. I had no idea it was goth music, so because my assumption of synth pop was that it was supposed to sound dark. Another band that I started listening to was Project Pitchfork, which I also found by chance. So it was amazing. I found the song Rain, and I got really into Project Pitchfork. So it was one of the bands that I used to like before I knew what goth was. But now things started to slowly change because I'm 17 and I find agrotech music on YouTube by chance. The first band that I got into was Grendel, and the songs that I really liked was Harsh Generation and New Flesh. I wasn't aware of the goth scene at the time. I just knew that cyber goths existed and that I thought they were amazing and so cool, and I wanted to dress like them one day when I had the money and possibility to do so. Yeah. I didn't research more into it, but I did research on the music, and I was really into bands like Psyborg Corp, Hocico, X-fushion, Noisuf-x, Terror Error, Braut, FGFC 820. And I also liked a noise band called W.A.S.T.E, which will be important in the future. But this really did change my personality, this kind of music, because it was waking. I realized how nasty the world is, how corrupted politicians can be. So I was obsessed with machines, cyborgs, zombies, corrupted politicians, environmental problems like pollution and toxins and all that kind of things, chemistry, and the idea that humans will end the world. So I was really kind of nihilistic, but I wasn't aware that there was a term for that. So I used to kind of introduce the agrotech bands to my friends, like listen to this and listen to that, and then I will also talk about all those strange theories that I had that one day in the future cyborgs will take over the world and there will be gun in the hand because the hand is made of metal, half robot, and then there will be a small gun that will allow people to kill each other. And I also used to have this paranoia that a gigantic malware was going to be sent all over the world, and it would get all the information or data, and then they will abuse it. So yeah, I had the weirdest ideas, but I was also really cold on like not good with empathy. So you could usually kind of give me a gun and I will know how to use it. So I tried to enroll to the military, but I got rejected because of bad eyesight. I was actually planning to go to the military to learn how to use a gun for hunting purposes, and because I wanted to own, just in case a zombie apocalypse came, and I would have a plan, an emergency weapon, just in case the zombies will be outside my door. So I actually had a gigantic plan what to do if zombies became a reality. So yeah, I was really cold, and I really disliked humans because humans were destroying the world. I still have this anger, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So I was really obsessed with zombies, like I said, and I take this further because there's a game that I used to love. It's Ocarina of Time, and in this game there is the Shadow Temple, and inside the Shadow Temple there are the Redeads. They are like zombies, and they are really creepy according to most people, but I was obsessed with this. And the Shadow Temple theme was my favorite theme, and that's like an ambient song, which made me research after music that sounded similar. So because of that, I found an ambient band, which is Raison D'etre. I was so obsessed with that band because that music that they made sounded just like the Shadow Temple theme. So yeah, I even used to listen to the Shadow Temple theme with the repeated screams, like. So yeah, okay. So we are now in the adult category, which is from 2013 to 2016 and 2017 till this day, 2019. So 2013, around summer, I change. I start to know the word empathy, what it means to love. I didn't have that ability. I have always kind of been a little bit cold, but I started to change because in summer 2013 I started to listen to Chinese music in Mandarin, not Cantonese. So I listened to lots of Chinese ballads, and I used to sing along with along with some of the songs, even if I am not a native Chinese speaker. But here's the thing, I have some friends from China, and they used to praise my pronunciation, my pronunciations, and my tones when I sang, because it's not easy to sing language like Chinese. The four tones can sometimes sound really similar unless you know how to pronounce correctly. Surprisingly, my Mandarin pronunciation is more accurate than my English. Why? It is because some of the sounds that can be found in Mandarin actually exist in my mother tongue. That's why. So for my throat and mouth, it was easier. Like, there's a lot of ch and sh in my mother tongue, which Chinese also has. So yes, it was really easy. Okay, so I listened to lots of Chinese music. But in 2014, 2015, I attend lots of raves and clubs. And I used to go there because I loved the music. I wasn't really so into like meeting with other people. I was just dancing to the music and listening to the DJ. But the thing is, I had no idea what they played. Sometimes they will play newer songs and sometimes a little bit older songs. Sometimes I could actually recognize the songs, but now these days, when I think about the times I attended, I can actually think more about the genre, not maybe the song because that would be really difficult to find, but the genres, and some of it is music that I used to listen when I was younger and in the future too. So I listen to lots of trance, techno, hardstyle, and house and so on because the DJ play them, and I used to love that. And this is also the time I was obsessed with DJs, and I'm still a little bit not obsessed, but really into DJs because they usually play really interesting songs, and I'm really picky about DJs because some DJs just don't know what they're doing, and it sounds horrible. My least favorite DJ is the one that can never pick what to play. So they play maybe 10 seconds of one song and then they jump from the other and no transition. It's the worst of the worst. Even they could have put the auto sync button, but no. Even if that's really horrifying, in my opinion. But it's still better than no transition and just quickly horrible. Okay, anyway. I also enjoyed listening to the DJs because of nostalgic reasons. It used to make me remember when I was a child, remembering all the homemade CDs with the Rave music and I know this song, I used to listen to this song and yeah, it made me feel young. Okay. Okay. So in 2015, I started late 2015. I start listening to goth music because I find goth music by chance. I click on a Diorama video and suddenly, wow, I was blown away. I thought it was synth pop, but that's not really the case. And then I suddenly clicked on a Clan of Xymox video, and I was mind blown. And the thing is, Clan of Xymox was a band that I knew existed, but I wasn't really into it. And suddenly I was researching about goth and goth bands and so on, and I got really into death rock and dark wave. But I also listened to Skinny Puppy because according to most goths, Skinny Puppy was a band they really respected, and because of that, I kind of listened to Skinny Puppy and gave it a try, and I really liked it. And what made me upset was that I wasn't able to find bands like that. But I end up buying lots of CDs. For example, Bauhaus, The Sisters of Mercy, Christian Death, and so on. Another thing that I try is punk, because goth has its roots in punk, and I decided to listen to it. The first punk band that I listened was Sex Pistols, and I did like it a lot. And that made me research about punk, and I got really into punk. And I bought lots of compilations and some hardcore punk. And after some listening, I found out that I really like hardcore punk, along with some softer aspects of punk. But I get really into Bad Brains, and they also have some reggae songs which I really like. The message of these songs is really beautiful. So punk became actually more important to me than goth, mostly because of personal reasons. I had really difficult time in university and with the authorities. So punk was really speaking to me because of this anti-authority attitude. So yeah. So 2017 till today. 2017 is time that I started to have music crisis. I have bought lots of compilations, punk and goth, but I have listened to mostly every single thing, and I'm slowly getting tired, until one of the compilations have the Vision song, and I really like the Vision. And then I want to find similar bands, but that ends with me discovering VNV Nation, a remix of a Division song, which leads me to future pop. And I start liking bands like Assembly 23, Code 64, and Covenant. And Covenant is actually a band that I have known existed, but I was not really into the band until a little bit later. And because of future pop, I found out that there are more bands like Skinny Puppy, and I get more into post-industrial, post-industrial. And I explore the genre a lot, but the thing that takes my attention the most is actually noise. Bands like W.A.S.T.E, and I really like noise because it's so unexpected and so anti-music. When I start listening to industrial, I feel young again. It makes me remember when I was 17 years old. And I really do like that. But noise became my favorite of all this post-industrial music. And what I do love with noise is all the creativity it allows you. So you could like play with the noise synthesizer, and you could take a recorder and record noises. For example, hit the wall, flush the toilet, fart, burp, water, from the sink and so on, everything, a shower, and you could mix it into the sample and you're ready to go. So there's lots of possibilities in noise, and I love that. Um, and it's a relief for me to finally know that what the music I used to like actually is. So yeah. And suddenly around mid 2018 I also start listening to 90s rave music because of Psychic TV. Their sound is really like acid house, and I check out acid house and I really like it, and I research more and I find videos on YouTube. So I get really into acid, and then I start listening to jungle, electro, hardstyle, trance, techno, and eurodance. Again, the genres that I used to like as a kid. But now I'm also remembering the days I used to rave, and oh, this kind of music I have heard before. The DJ has played them, and so it made me really happy that finally the the tree, kind of, it's a tree, is growing. So it's not a sprout anymore. It's a flower. So not a seed and not a sprout, but a full bloomed flower, which I really, really like. And now I have no confusion left. So these days, 2019, I am balancing between goth music, punk, industrial, and rave music. So yeah, that was my music journey. Oh, it took such a long time to record this. And I'm finally satisfied with this long, long video. Okay. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.